In a lobby, shows Denitra Vance as a secretary sitting at a desk. Shows Norm Macdonald as an old man open a door to the lobby from an office and say, "Hey, Letitia, can you come into my office for a second?" Vance gets up and says, "Of course, Mr. Black." After Macdonald ushers in Vance into the office, he directs her to take a seat. Macdonald walks towards the bar in the office and pours the 2 glasses of champagne. As Macdonald hands Vance one of the glasses, she asks, "Champagne? Wow! What are we celebrating, Mr. Black?" Macdonald, "Please, call me by my first name, not even." Vance, "Okay, Mr. Not even. Why the champagne? What are we celebrating?" As Macdonald walks to his desk chair, he says, "What are we celebrating? Why, Black History Month, of course." Vance, "Really?" Macdonald, "Yes, Letitia. After some soul searching, I figured it was insensitive to make a pun out of my last name being Black by celebrating my personal family's history instead of African American history during the month of February." Vance, "I'll drink to that." The 2 toast over the office table and begin to drink. Macdonald, "I did it as a joke, Black History Month. My surname happens to be Black. Why not celebrate my Black history? But after some deep thought, I now find that such a pun is racially insensitive to African Americans." Vance, "I agree." Macdonald, "And therefore you, my dutiful secretary, and I are going to celebrate ourselves some Black history." Macdonald downs the champagne glass and gets up and pours himself some more. As Macdonald sits back down, he says, "Now, as you know, Letitia, I've been so busy as an old-fashioned financier, I haven't kept up with the modern history of Black people. However, my understanding is you were once enslaved, correct?" Vance, "Correct." Macdonald downs his glass, gets up, walks over and pours himself some more champagne and says, "Well, this of course is supposed to be a celebration, so I don't want to get into that sort of older history. I was hoping you and I could celebrate some more modern Black history." Vance, "Okay." Macdonald sits back down at his office desk, gets on a computer, and Googles the term famous Blacks. Macdonald, "Well, my God, it says here that there was a Black president, Barack Obama. What next? Another Catholic? I'm kidding, but wow, this is, of course, cause for celebration." Macdonald slowly and awkwardly gets up and dances towards Vance while humming the song Celebration, downs his glass and pours himself another. Macdonald then walks back to his desk and looks at his computer screen. Macdonald, "They have something about some fella here named George Floyd. What, was he a senator?" Vance, "Not exactly." Macdonald reads the screen and says, "Oh boy, wow. I can't believe the cops didn't confiscate the onlookers' phones. Anyway, George Floyd's story here isn't exactly putting me in the celebration spirit. Let me find someone else." Vance, "But not even. It's important to know George Floyd's life mattered." Macdonald, "Come on, it's just one guy. His life didn't matter." Vance, "All Black lives matter." Macdonald, "Oh, I see. Well, in that context, sure. Anywho, I'm looking for some good Black history here we both could celebrate. Let's see. Well, here's a name I haven't heard in a while. Martin Luther King. Now, whatever happened to him?" Vance, He was assassinated almost 55 years ago. McDonald: Is that right? Now, I knew there were three of them: Jackie, Bobby. I always want to say it was Teddy. But now that you say that, I vaguely recall the third one was a black guy. Okay. Well, assassinations aren't much fun to celebrate. So let's see who else I can find on here. Aha, Malcolm X. Now, I always remember his name because of the uncommon surname, X. What's he up to nowadays? Vance: He was also assassinated. McDonald: Good God. McDonald downs his glass, stumbles over to pour himself another drink, and says, Boy, between the slavery and all these blacks getting killed, I'm having a hard time celebrating black history. But I'll do my damnedest. McDonald again hums the song Celebrate as he stumbles back to his desk. Vance gets up, brings the champagne bottle to McDonald and says, Here, why don't you keep the bottle by you? I'd best be on my way. McDonald: But wait. We just got started trying to celebrate. We can still turn things around here. Any black men out there making any history? Vance: Well, Kamala Harris is making history. McDonald: Kamala Harris? Is he that linebacker on the 49ers? Vance: No, she's the first female vice president of the United States. McDonald spits out champagne all over Vance. McDonald pours himself another drink as he says, I'm really sorry about that, Letitia. I thought you said there was an African-American female vice president. As McDonald takes a drink, Vance says, Well, there is. You heard me right. McDonald spits out more champagne all over Vance again. McDonald: I'm really sorry about that, LaQuisha. Vance: It's Letitia. McDonald: That's right. LaQuisha handles my dry cleaning. Anyway, I'm really sorry. But I think in my old age, I'm not up for celebrating any more black history. Vance: That's okay, Mr. Black. I'll be on my way now. McDonald: One more thing. Vance: What's that? McDonald: Dead from the earth, we're not alive. It's Saturday Night Alive, starring John Belushi, Chris Farley, Phil Hartman, Jan Hooks, Norm MacDonald, Gilda Radner, Denitra Vance, and with many other special deceased contributors. Musical guest, Francis Frank Johnson, and your host, Booker T. Washington. Everybody, Booker T. Washington. Applause, applause, applause. Washington: Thank you, I'm pleased to be here. I was an educator, author, orator, and advisor to several presidents of the United States. Between 1890 and 1915, I was the dominant leader in the African American community and was from the last generation of black American leaders born into slavery, and I became the leading voice of former slaves and their descendants. Applause, applause, applause. Washington: However, despite my efforts to help black people, my legacy is sometimes questioned, as there are those who say I was too accommodating to white supremacy. Let me be clear, I wanted to end disenfranchisement of African Americans above all else. However, I emphasized economic self-help and individual advancement into the middle class as a more fruitful strategy for black people than political agitation was. Instead of fighting the power, I wanted us to become part of the power by accumulating wealth through our own actions, rather than waiting on politics to turn a corner. But I never let the critics sway my reasoned judgments, and neither should you. So as you celebrate Black history, also celebrate the diversity of thought that can exist amongst each other, all trying to reach the same goals. We have a great show tonight. Antebellum African-American composer Francis Frank Johnson is here. So get ready for the new Bird Waltz. We'll be right back.